Good evening, everybody. This is Chris Sofield with bucksPAC.com. Thank you very much for joining us on Monday, February 15th. Appreciate everybody joining us a few minutes early. It's very nice of you. And we will wait a few more minutes for everybody else to join in.
Andy Warren.
Hello, Andy's here, Benny and Paige. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And we had one early bird. Your phone number ends in 3568.
That's Perry Strauss.
That is Perry Strauss's number. Okay, very good. Thank you for joining us again.
Robert Myers here.
Hey, welcome, Robert. We'll be allowing everybody to join us tonight. A whole bunch of people showing up on time, so that's great.
Yeah, I just got done listening to Joe Biden's speech about gun control. Great man he is. Not
pretty late for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was earlier today. I guess it was recorded on YouTube.
This is Chris with bucksPAC. You were just speaking about the Joe Biden speech. What was your name again?
Yeah, Rob Myers.
Rob Myers. Okay, thank you, Rob, for joining us. So this is it's almost 7 o'clock. I'll lay down some of the ground rules, and of course I'll repeat them later on. But thank you, everybody, for joining us to bucksPAC.com, our Monday night conference call. One of the ground rules would be don't talk over other people. If you do wish to speak, announce your name, say your piece or question, and when you're finished speaking, just say over, and then that way the person that the question might have been directed to or the comment directed to would know to start to answer so they're not speaking over each other. That never sounds good for anybody involved, so we try to keep that one ground rule going. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on our Monday night, February 15th, bucksPAC.com conference call. We do try to keep this call under 1 hour, and I usually start to wind it down at about the 45-minute mark just so we can keep everybody's comments available. Good evening, Mike. This is Chris from bucksPAC.com. Thank you for joining us. We'll be starting in a few moments. And with that, I'll just wait 1 or 2 more minutes. But appreciate each and every one of you joining us tonight. We're going to have a good-sized audience, it looks like. So I do appreciate that support of our Monday night conference calls here on bucksPAC.com. And I do appreciate each and every one of you joining us. Thank you very much. Over.
My name is Cheryl Welsh, and I'm from Bensalem.
Hello, Cheryl Welsh. I remember you from one of our previous calls, so thank you very much for joining us here on bucksPAC.com.
Hi, Chris. Kathy Gentner here, Durham Township.
Hello, Kathy. So we're getting people from throughout the county, and that's a fantastic thing for bucksPAC.com.
I'm sorry, where was she from again?
Kathy, you're from which township?
Durham Township.
Durham, yes. That's
Durham,
up in Upper Bucks County.
That's way up there, yes.
No man's land, God's country.
So, well, like I was saying, we're getting people from all ends of the county, all ends of the Pennsylvania 1st Congressional District, from one end of Bucks County to another, and even a little sliver of Montgomery County. So I do thank everybody for joining us tonight on tonight's conference call, February 15th. And this is our weekly Monday night call. We hold these at 7 o'clock on Monday night. So, please invite your friends and other folks that are interested in saving the county, saving America. We appreciate you joining us on the call tonight. One of the ground rules that I usually set, I said it earlier, but we've had some people join us since then. So one of the ground rules is if you are going to speak, announce yourself with your name and say your piece, your question, and then say over. And then that way people will know that they can answer that without stepping on top of your comments. So thank you very much for a very nice-sized audience tonight. We are few minutes after 7 o'clock at this point, so we'll probably get ready to start. I will start with one of my commentaries. I will be speaking about the Lincoln Project. I think if you've joined us on these calls, you know the Lincoln Project is my least favorite political action group out there, and I'm very, very happy that they are crashing and burning as they deserve. They are a reprehensible group of guys who started up a political action committee. They call themselves Republicans, and their whole purpose was to destroy Donald Trump. And it wasn't even that bad, because after they spent $47 million on political ads to destroy the Republican president, they also stated earlier this year that they would now start going after the grassroots and the MAGA candidates, anybody who was affiliated with Donald Trump. So it wasn't just a Donald Trump aspect of their organization. Lincoln Project was an anti-Republican party. It was an anti-constitutional party. They stated that they were out to destroy Donald Trump, but they really were just out to get as much money as they can, because their books show that they took in close to $94 million. They spent $47 million, and they paid themselves very handsomely on their little bit of knowledge that they had, and they were able to get a lot of people to ship money off to the Lincoln Project with the cause that they were the real Republicans, and they were far from it, and they were part of the reason why Donald Trump is no longer the president, because of the amount of money that they spent. And I could not be happier to see the fact that one of their founders was just found out to be just a horrible person. He quit. I see that Steve Smith, who keeps saying he's a political consultant and a Republican kingmaker, but he's always been just an establishment person who was just in it for the money. And obviously, when he spent a couple $1 million on a new home last year, we know where that money was coming from. So he resigned from his position. With any luck, that whole Lincoln Project thing will just end up in the ash bin of history, and we will never have to worry about them again, as they had pledged to start going after congressional candidates and going after senators. So that's my opening comment concerning the Lincoln Project, and the fact that I still just am so against outfits such as that are even worse than Democrats, because they say they want to do what is best for the Republican Party and for the Constitution, and they actually do the opposite in the clothing of Republicans. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's about 7 minutes after 7. I think we have our attendees have all called in. Everybody's pretty much on time, and I do appreciate that very much. We will, at about 7:10, I'm going to open up the floor to Andy Warren, who will be running for one of the row offices, and I will, ask him for his tell us your story on what prompted you to become a Republican and a conservative, and tell us a little bit of his history. So I think we'll enjoy that segment. And I guess I'll just finish up my little opening segment with, if you heard anything of Mark Levin's opening segment this evening at 6 o'clock, it was pretty much everything that I felt today. If you did not hear it, he was going after Mitch McConnell, the establishment Republicans, and the fact that they are going out of their way to go after Donald Trump when there's no reason to. We had solid victories this weekend as Republicans and as people that uphold the Constitution It was a fantastic weekend for us. And the establishment could not wait to start jockeying for position. And the problem they have is they're going to try to run up the same horrible candidates they have in the past. I mean, this is the reason why we never had a President John McCain and we never had a President Mitt Romney. They were horrible candidates. The fact is, if it wasn't for Donald Trump in 2016, we would have had a President Hillary Clinton. And the fact is that Donald Trump was not part of the establishment, and that was truly the reason why we were able to get a Republican. Yes, a Republican president in office in 2016, 2017. And the establishment want to go back to their established ways of a controlled losing, and we don't want that. We want to win. We want to do it from the grassroots. We want to do it here locally in Bucks County, and we need to clean up from the inside our Republican Party so that it is ready to win again and to make Bucks County great again, to make America great again. So that's my opening commentary. Thank you very much for everybody putting up with my opening commentary. And with that, I'm going to turn the call over to tonight's guest, Andy Warren. Andy, tell us your story. Over.
Chris, well, thank you very much to you and all of your listeners. It sounds like with all the dinging that's been going on, you've got quite a few callers on the line, and that is wonderful. I, for one, am a firm believer that we build strength in a party from the bottom up, not from the top down. And this is exactly the bottom that we're talking about. I'm running for county controller, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. And my whole point here tonight is I would much prefer to turn this into a dialogue as opposed to a monologue. But I want to take 5 minutes or so, just give you a little bit of who I am, what I am, and why I am, and then we'll go in wherever you or your listeners want to take. You ask me a question, I'll answer it. And sometimes that's been part of my problem because people ask me a question and I give them an honest answer instead of a manufactured one. But let me congratulate you, Chris. You started talking about saving our county and saving our country. You are so right. I just generally, for listeners, am one who, when I say this every time we speak, I am a firm believer that history will show that Donald Trump was good for America. The presidency of Donald Trump was good for America. History is going to show that minorities were employed better, border control, national defense, economics were all enhanced. The courts were enhanced. A semblance of peace came to the Middle East. None of that has occurred yet, and I have never been as concerned in my life for the future of America as I am right now. So I have been. So why then, Warren, are you running for a row office in a dinky county race? I have been a registered Republican working for Republican candidates for 51 years. I started as a committee person in Warminster Township, was elected supervisor in Warminster, went on to serve as a county commissioner for 15 years, went to PennDOT, and this time of year was great while I was at PennDOT. They figured I had so much hot air I could melt the snow. But for 10 years, I headed the Southeast PennDOT. And the reason it is so vital that Bucks County stop with this election, the Democrat taking over. You realize, and I'm sure your listeners realize, in the last, since 2017, the last two elections, there were 12 possible seats, counting 9 row offices and 3 county commissioner seats. Just in the last 4 years, Republicans have literally been wiped out. Out of those 12 possible seats in 4 years, we've won 1 commissioner seat, which the law says we have to, by the way, and 1 district attorney seat. We've lost every other race. That must stop now, because if we don't, the next commissioner race, which will become very quickly in the next 2 years, if we don't have Republican turnaround, we won't reclaim this county for a long, long time. And people, just for your listeners, you realize Bucks County is a consequential county. Bucks County has a population larger than the state of Wyoming and the state of Vermont. We got more people than the states. So when a Republican Party gets wiped out in a county that large, it means a lot. We are going to be running in November in this race. And by the way, it's district attorney, sheriff, prothonotary, recorder of deeds, and controller. And those 5 seats, if we get wiped out again, we're done. We're running against all incumbents. And except for the district attorney, which of course is Matt Weintraub, our guy, we're running against 4 incumbent office holders. In order to get voters to leave the incumbents and vote for Republicans, we must offer candidates that can say to a voter, vote for me for more of a reason than I'm not them. That's not good enough. We must present candidates with experience, candidates who on the very first day of taking office can know what it is the office calls for, know what they're doing. I believe my experience with controller with commissioner puts me exactly in that spot. Not only that, for the last year, all of 2020, I attended every single county commissioner race meeting, either in person mostly. If I wasn't in person, I was on Zoom. I have noted their agendas. There's questions that absolutely should have been asked and were never asked. We don't have a voice. Republicans do not have a voice in elective office in Bucks County. I have written, and take with me to campaign meetings and stuff, 12 letters that I've written to the Courier and Intelligencer and have been printed, published over the last 12 months, almost one a month. I'm not new to speaking out on behalf of Republican issues, taking to task Democrats. The most recent letter took John Cordisco to task for an insipid letter that he wrote about we supporters of Trump. And let me just wind up my opening spiel, which has already gone 7 minutes, and I said 5. Can't trust a politician who doesn't keep his word here. But another thing that is vital, absolutely vital to our ticket this time, in addition to mandating or giving voters a reason to vote Republican, we must have candidates on that ticket who have been tested, who have faced the fire of county-wide elections. I've been on the ballot in November 5 times in the course of my political history here. Once as a supervisor in Warminster Township, where you had to attract Democrat voters to win. The other 4 times I've run county-wide, as a county commissioner, where, of course, you need to attract not just Republicans. Remember, we still are the minority party. In order to win, we must attract Democrat voters. I've been on a countywide ballot 4 times, and counting the Warminster one 5 times in November. I've faced voters in a general election 5 times. I've won. I believe that Andy Warren on the ticket in November is an asset, is a name that I've been told I'm one of the 8 to 10 most recognized faces in Bucks County. I am a proven vote getter, and I am a dyed-in-the-wool Republican supporter and constitutionalist. Other than that, I'll stop and let you, Chris, or any of your guests ask me anything you'd like.
Thank you very much, Andy. And I always tell people they get 5 minutes, but I always know I'm going to give them 10 minutes. So thank you very much for keeping within a time frame. You know, everybody's time is very valuable, and we do appreciate the fact that you joined us tonight, that you kept yourself very concise with that, and we do appreciate that on bucksPAC.com about, respecting everybody's time, and we do respect everybody who's joined us tonight. So thank you very much.
I am a firm believer in that.
Yes. So I do have a question for you, and then I'll open it up, to the floor for other questions. So my question is, what is your process right now to make sure that you are on the ballot for the primary, and what type of help do you need?
Well, starting tomorrow, we will need signatures, 250 signatures to get on the ballot, and the petitions will be, you can get them, I will get them, and I'll bring a petition to anybody, anywhere that would be willing to carry it for me. We need 250 signatures. That's immediate. The other thing that needs to happen is, right now, we're playing an insider's game. For the next week, we candidates will be going, and by the way, there's only 3. This is the only race that has any primary competition. And for the next week, we will be going to various regions in the county making our pitch. If you or your listeners know any committee person in their area, it would be most helpful if they could give us a vote on the screening of their region. Second to that, make sure that your listeners have my phone number, please. Anyone who has any questions or calls, please call me, and I'll speak to you. I'll come to your house if you'd like. If you'd like to bring in a couple of your neighbors and say, why should I even get involved in a primary? By the way, it's interesting. One of my opponents has rarely voted in a primary election. Primary elections are the ones that really, I think, not really matter, but certainly matter and should not be avoided. Those are things that are of immediacy. Once the endorsement's over, then there's a major decision that needs to be made. Will any of the 3 of us run without the party's endorsement? I am the only one who has not answered no to that. I said that I am not ready to commit on February 15th that I will not run if not endorsed. This is I won't run for the sake of running just to stick a finger in the party's eye. That's not helpful. But if we go through this process, and I come out of this process with, let's say I get 48% of the vote and somebody else gets 52% of the insider, the committee people's vote, I will think long and hard about continuing and staying in. I'm very encouraged by the fact that I've got people calling me and say that they will carry my petition, that they will support us. We'll worry about that bridge when we get to it. I am asking for, competing for, and would be honored to have the Republican Party endorsement. But I also believe I make the ticket stronger. I have experience, and I believe that if I fall short because of insider politics, if you will, in an endorsement process, if I come close, I'm going to think long and hard about dropping out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Andy, I'm going to just follow up with one comment. And this petition signing period for your 250 signatures, which you always want to get 300, 350.
Yes.
So you have more than enough that are registered Republican voters in Bucks County. So we need to support and help Andy in his bid here in Bucks County to show his expertise as our controller. It's what we need. The sign-in period is from February 16th, tomorrow, Tuesday, and it is a 3-week period, if I understand.
Yes.
Through March 2nd?
Up until March 9th. That's it's past then. It's March 9th or 11th, I think, is the last day to sign.
Oh, you are correct. Yes. And you have to get those signatures. I don't know if you still need to get them certified, so you need a little bit of time.
You don't have to have them. You do not have to have them notarized anyway the last time. You just have to have them carried by a registered Republican voter. In order to get signatures, you must be. And let me just, Chris, one real quick point. I thought I heard one of your callers saying that she was from Ben Salem. Ben Salem is the Ben Salem regional meeting I was talking about is tomorrow night at the Ben Salem Country Club at 7 o'clock. If that caller was a committee person, I would love to respectfully ask for her vote. And after the meeting, if she'd like to call me, talk to me, please do.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris, Perry Strauss, I'd like to say something when I get a chance.
Yeah, let me just say one thing. On bucksPAC.com, if you go onto our site, we do have a page up there for support Andy Warren for Bucks County with some very important information about the people that he's going to be running against. So please, when you get a chance, go onto bucksPAC.com, check out that page about supporting Andy Warren, and you'll be quite surprised on the people that he will be running against. So Andy's the person that we do need in that position and on our Republican ticket. So we actually have Republicans on that ticket. So just want to make sure that comment was out so you people feel comfortable going on to bucksPAC.com, checking out the information, that resource that we put out there for everybody. We appreciate that. And Perry, you have a question for Andy?
No, I have a statement to make on behalf of myself, if I have an opportunity to say it. Is that okay?
Yeah, don't take too much of Andy's time, though. Okay. Go ahead, Perry.
Okay, well then how about if I just wait till he's done?
I'd like to hear it. Go ahead, Perry. I yield.
Oh, there we go.
I yield to Perry.
Okay, very good.
Well, one
Perry.
thing you said that was true, that it begins at the bottom. Okay, I'm from Middletown Township, and 20 years ago when I moved in here, the Republicans controlled the supervisor, of the township. They controlled it. Now there's not one Republican on the Board of Supervisors in Middletown Township. Not one.
Yep.
I throw my name in there for the Republican committee to screen me for the job. I'm more than ample qualified, and I know that I am not a yes vote for anybody. I vote my conscience, and I vote for the constituency which would elect me. I would like to gain control of the tax base that we have in Middletown. It's not being run right. There's been decisions made that are wrong, and if anybody's out there that knows me knows that I'm an outspoken person for the right to do the right thing. I'm a Republican that's a conservative, and there's where I stand.
What part of Middletown are you from?
Langhorne.
We're neighbors.
Maple Point, right across from Maple Point Middle School.
Oh, well, so do I. I mean, I live at Shady Brook Farm. It's 55 plus community, and my wife was old enough so we could. Yeah, my wife was old enough so we could move in because I'm certainly not.
Well, anyway,
Andy,
I appreciate you
remember,
giving me an
Andy, this is
opportunity
being
to
recorded.
throw my name out there. Again, my name is Perry Strauss, and I am throwing my name out for the Middletown Township Board of Supervisors. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, Perry, for that comment. And Andy, yes, you two definitely should connect as you're thinking alike. And in numbers, it's so much easier to get a signatures for a few different candidates at the same time, and that makes the workload easier on everybody else. I just wanted to, Perry Strauss, I just wanted to follow up on that because I'm not sure whether your township supervisor's race, is it actually this year? Is it next year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, it's for 22. Yep.
Okay. So I guess we should talk.
You got to start now.
Yes. Yeah. So it's for 2022, you said?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, yeah, yes, it's never too early. I've had the political consultants tell me that it's too early, and by the time that gets out of their mouth, it's already too late. So yes, we do need to work together on that. So with that, I will open it up at 7:30. I will open it up to any other questions for our guest tonight, for Andy Warren. Over. Everybody's being very quiet. I guess Andy did such a wonderful job in saying who he was.
I have a question. This is Michael Breitenbach. I have a question for Andy. Andy, you had mentioned tomorrow night's meeting. I guess, will you be there at tomorrow night's meeting?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. All the candidates will.
Okay, I'm running for school board, and I'll be there at 6:15 as well. So maybe you and I know Cheryl Welsh is on the call as well. She's a committee person in Upper 10, where I live. So Cheryl, I don't want to speak for you, but will you be there tomorrow night?
I have not been able to get out of a previous obligation, so I won't be able to, but I do have a proxy.
Okay.
Someone that will vote for me.
I would love it, Cheryl, if you could consider me as your vote.
Well, I know you from many years ago when you were commissioner, and I forget how many you ran for commissioner. I think you were
15 years.
Yes, you were in quite a while.
Yes,
and I remember, all those years, and remember, working as a Republican committee person back then, and supporting you. And then I guess there was a time that you were running for something else and didn't get on the ticket. Did you change to Democrat at some point?
Oh, yeah, good point. 15 years ago, for 3 years of my 54 years of voting, I was registered in the other party. I took a cold shower, realizing I had made a terrible mistake, and have been a Republican for 51 of 54 years.
Okay, well, there are cases where people run on both tickets.
Yeah, for school board that can be done, but not. And
this wasn't the case then.
No.
Okay. No. Well, I mean, so what changed?
As to what? Why are we Republican?
Yeah, you went to Democrat and now you're back at Republican.
Yeah. Good question. Like I say, 15 years ago, I had my Irish got the better of my judgment. Harry Fawkes and I had a discussion. By the way, let me mention Harry Fawkes.
I know who Harry Fawkes is.
Harry was a very, very good friend, even in the 3 years. He was the first call I made when I said I was going to look at the other party. And he said, well, I'm sorry to see you go, but good luck. And he was the first call I made when I came back 3 years later. And he had a twinkle in his eye and said, see, I told you so. But we were long friends. 51 years I've been working for, voting for, championing Republican causes. And I am to the core.
Well, I just thought I would ask that. I mean,
no
as you mentioned yourself that the GOP party is in an upheaval right now.
Yes,
and we as voters don't know who to trust anymore. We do have a congressman that, tells us one thing and then does another. I won't mention his name. Sits on the fence on a lot of issues and then, throws people under the bus. We don't know who to trust. Now, in the past, when we're going way back, when you were the commissioner, we trusted our politicians.
Yes.
If they told us they were going to do something, 99% of the time they kept their word, and it's not that way anymore. We have politicians that are lying to us, and we're not so stupid anymore. We're all like saying, "Well, what's going on here? Why is this happening?" And so I'm just saying that we're not going along with what anybody tells us anymore, and we're all starting to research our own things and look at dockets and bills and everything else.
That's why I asked you to look at the whole 51 years of my Republican activity. I worked for Ed Burns when he was there, obviously Joe DiGirolamo. Tommy Tomlinson has been at our house when he was campaigning, and just this year I was down when Casey Tomlinson was running in her special election on a Saturday. Ben Salem said we need some help knocking on doors. I have the lower East 1 door knocking list that I did for Casey.
Well, here in Ben Salem, we have a very good reputation for pulling in the ticket.
Yep.
And we've had the past couple races have been very close, and some of the races that we had, they've been very close. And like you said, we lost a lot of the row offices, and I don't attribute that to any lax part of Ben Salem, because we all work hard here in Ben Salem.
Absolutely.
But there is a lot of dark money coming into our district. It's something that they want to do is to be able to take over Bucks County because we've been a Republican stronghold for so long.
And we can stop it now. We can stop it right now with this row office campaign that the Democrats, are hoping will overlook. I am asking with every ounce of energy and respect I have, please let me be part of the ticket that turns the tide in Bucks County. And I will answer any question anytime, not tonight, but you call me anytime. Right. I've taken way too much time. But there are people on this phone who have known me for years, and
I helped you with your campaign back in the 90s.
Well, darling, you'll have another chance. Let's go together. Anybody who remembers the pump, that was us. But anyway, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your honesty, Andy.
You ask, and I will tell you.
So thank you very much for everybody for getting together concerning that discussion about Andy's desire to make Bucks County great again.
There you go.
It is a conservative county, and one of the things, Andy, yes, it's easy to get frustrated with the Republican Party. As you said, you as a conservative, you're a Republican, conservative, and you get frustrated and you go because some of your friends are conservatives on the Democratic side, and you feel you can team up with them.
Yeah.
The thing is, that is us as Republicans, we need to go after those JFK Democrats those conservative Democrats, those union member Democrats, and get them to actually change their voter registration to Republican now.
Totally
this is
agree,
the time
Chris.
to do it.
The way to change it is from within, not trying to leave and do it. That was a mistake on my part. Like I say, anybody who's thinking of that, take the cold shower. We need to change from within, and that's why I'm running for a row office.
Yes, and just to give a little of my history, you know, I got a little frustrated with the Republican Party. I wasn't so drastic to become a Democrat. I changed my registration to Constitution Party, and then realized nothing was going to change that route.
Yeah.
So I stayed within the Republican Party and do the cleanup through the Republican Party. So it is very important to do that. And that's what we need to do with Andy Warren. That's what we need to do with the right candidates, because we need to win these row offices back. We need to stop these Democrats in their tracks, because it's not so much the conservative Democrats, the pro-life Democrats, the union member Democrats. Those people are the ones that need to realize that they need to come home to a conservative Republican Party. And we need those members, and we need our Republican establishment to realize this is a conservative county, and this is where we need to go in the future, and that future starts now on these races we have in this off-year election. And please, guys, stop calling it the bottom. I'd like to say grassroots, okay? I think it sounds better than saying we're on the bottom. It's the grassroots.
It's called the ground game. It's called the ground game.
Is what we need to win, yes. And we need to win that ground game. So thank you very much for that. So over, and I hear somebody wants to ask or make a statement.
Yeah, it's Kathy Gentner.
Yes, Kathy.
So, Andy, I'd like to say thanks for running. I think it's fantastic that you are willing, after all these years, watching the destruction of our party and our county, that you're willing to come in and help us out and save us, which I am greatly appreciative of.
Thank you.
I just want to add that I don't know that we need to change our party. I heard something recently that what President Trump empowered us to do was to reclaim our party, because the elite Republicans, who are basically a uniparty along with the Democrats, have taken the party from us. And I really think it's more appropriate for us to reclaim what is rightfully ours. And I also think that kind of stands for our county in general. I think Montgomery County faces the same thing, that we kind of have to take back what is actually ours, and we have so much power that President Trump actually showed us over these past 4 years, that even though we're one person, when you put us together, we're 74 million. And there's a lot of power in that. And right now, I think that is scaring headquarters, because we watched everybody run a fantastic ground game for President Trump. And what started out as one person turned into an actual win in Bucks County for President Trump that got stolen from us. So
well said.
That's my addition.
Yes, well said.
Thank you very much, Kathy. This is it's about 7:45. This is Chris Sofield from bucksPAC.com. I do thank everybody for joining us and giving up your Monday evening. These calls do go on every Monday night at 7 p.m. So thank you very much. And yes, I'm going to open up the floor to who's asking for the floor.
Joan Gaycat. And we'd love to vote for you people in Bucks, but we're on the other side of the border in Montgomery County, but in that little section of Hatfield that gets to vote for our U.S. representative, which was mentioned earlier. But I'd really like to mention that I've been reading about this H.R. 1 bill that they're trying to push through Congress, and I really would love it if a lot of people would reach out to our U.S. congressmen and research this yourselves, the H.R. 1 bill. But it's got a lot of stuff in it that can hurt our voting ability in the future. So
I saw it. It's horrible. Yes.
Please reach out. I've actually reached out to him by phone and by email stating my concerns about this bill. So That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Joan, thank you very much for your comment. And yes, you're in that little sliver of Montgomery County, but you are in Brian Fitzpatrick's congressional district, PA01. And yes, it's very important that we call and email and even write a letter to our congressman and to our senator as they fail us on a lot of conservative issues. And it is very frustrating for us as conservatives, as Republicans, to watch them vote with Democrats. There should probably be almost zero reason for any Republican at this point of history to vote with a Democrat. I don't see anything good that comes from our Democratic competition.
Well, Chris,
yes.
I mean, in this HR 1 bill, every American should be concerned about this bill, not just us, because it could come around and bite them in the butt, too, later. The things they're trying to put into this bill. So it's totally un-American, totally against our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, and it's like, are you kidding me? What are they doing? They're definitely trying to turn this country into a socialist country.
Yes, Joan. Yes, they are. And this is Chris again. And that HR 1 bill has taken a lot of the failed laws from California into the election and trying to mandate it from a federal level, which goes completely against the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution. So anybody who knows anything about our Constitution should realize that H.R. 1 is a horrible bill put up by Democrats to try to make the United States as failed as California is. And yes, please contact our congressman. So he's not sitting as a no labels person, but he needs to sit as somebody who upholds the Constitution and should understand that there are people concerned here in Bucks County and Montgomery County that he needs to vote on the correct side of history. Over. And
if anyone is interested, there's a Hillsdale College. You can go to their website, and they have a free course. It's called Constitution 101, The Meaning and History of the Constitution, and it's 12 half-hour little video clips to educate yourself about our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution.
This is Andy again. I took it then, and it's wonderful. Excellent.
I just started it today. I'm like, oh my
You said
God.
it was Hillsdale College. Could you repeat that?
Yes, Hillsdale, Hillsdale College. So actually, it's like hillsdale.edu. And if you look up, just go to their main page, they'll see that there's all these different courses, and there's this one called Constitution 101, The Meaning and History of the Constitution. It's free, 12
1/2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can take it at your own time, your own leisure. They give you a quiz afterwards, which you can or you don't have to take. It's I'm a dues payer to Hillsdale College. Highly recommend it.
Hey, Chris, Eddie Chadro. That would be great to have up on your bucksPAC site. You know, it won't be a bad link to put up there.
Okay. I'm going to have my my IT person do that. And thanks for bringing up the bucksPAC site. We do try to keep it updated with resources for conservatives here in Bucks County. There is a cost to us keeping that site up, so please, when you do go on our site, bucksPAC.com, there is a donate button, and you can donate to us so we can keep, and cover the cost for this and keeping this information up there. So I do appreciate that very much. Is there any other questions for Andy Warren?
I don't have a question for Andy. This is Kathy Gentner.
Yes.
And commenting on the Constitution, another thing I've heard recently, and there's a grassroots movement through Pennsylvania known as the Patriots Party, and they're encouraging all citizens across the country to put on their coffee table a copy of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And they're also encouraging us, as we're interviewing or speaking to any candidate, to, as we become more familiar, again, with our Constitution and our rights, to question them on legislation that they've proposed in the past, or even future candidates that have the potential to win, to question them on their legislation and how it relates to our actual rights as citizens of the country. So, and that really hones into kind of some of the stuff that we have going on here in Bucks County, because our county commissioners really aren't doing things that support all of our freedoms and our liberties. While I think all of us have equal rights, they're doing some things, I think, that deal more with equal opportunity and equity positions that really don't pertain to any of us. So,
and that is exactly something a controller can and should be speaking out against. You are absolutely right, by the way.
I have one more question for Andy, if I may.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt anyone. Yes, Mr. Andy Warren.
Yes.
Yes, there seems to be a problem with the Board of Election voter rolls. I don't know if a controller would be able to do anything about that.
Yep.
It seems as though we have quite a few. I think it's almost 40,000 inactive voters in Bucks County.
Yep.
In my opinion, the new voting machines that they put in, I feel from the different things that I've looked and read that the voter fraud and the machines that we had that throughout the state, the new machines, those are the problem. It's not going to matter how hard we work unless we do something about these machines. I feel when we lost the row offices after I saw the fraud that took place this election, I'm convinced that that's how they took the row offices the last time.
Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch is very up on this.
Yes, I get his
voting rolls, and
yes,
I'm on his mailing list, etc. But yes, directly to your question, controller oversees all departments within the county now, and that is absolutely questions that need to be asked. And when a row officer has a platform, then he or she has the ability to do that, and that's what I want to do. But you are absolutely right. As long as those aren't cleaned up, we're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's 40,000. That's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was a rule that if you didn't vote in a primary, I forget the rules now. They've gone by the wayside. If you didn't vote in a primary, you couldn't vote in the general election.
It used to be if you didn't vote for a president. If you didn't vote once every 4 years, you were withdrawn. Now they don't do that. You were like if you didn't vote for a president, and then 4 years in 4 years' time, your name was taken off the rolls. They don't do that anymore. That came from the state, I'm pretty sure. Not
the records that we get to make phone calls and door knocking with are so outdated. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Excellent. Yes. Try being a candidate.
It's like a waste of my time. It's a waste of my time.
So, I do appreciate those comments. This is Chris Sofield again with bucksPAC.com. And yes, the voter rolls are a major problem. We've tried to get them cleaned up, but that's all been pushed aside because as soon as you talk about cleaning up the voter rolls, we get blamed for disenfranchising voters. And of course, you don't want to be disenfranchising voters, but if people are not voting, they should be cleaned off the rolls. They probably have moved or moved on.
Well, when I do door knocking, it's I say, "Oh, Mr. Johnson, how you doing today?" "Oh, I'm not Mr. Johnson. He moved out 2 years ago."
Right.
You know, I'm new. I'm Mr. Nelson. You know, It's like that's the way it goes with those voter lists.
Yes, and without us cleaning up these voter lists, that is why on election night, Florida was able to give an answer on who won the state of Florida within 1 hour because Governor DeSantis and the Republicans in that state cleaned up their voter rolls. Okay, we're not allowed to clean up the voter rolls in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia. Those states aren't allowed. And what were the states that we had problems on election night? What states did we not get an answer on election night? Those are the states that have managed to say that Republicans disenfranchise voters by trying to clean up the rolls. And all we're doing is trying to clean up the rolls so that elections can be decided on election day or election night and not 3 days afterwards, not 2 weeks afterwards. It's truly what needs to be done, and that needs to be done through our state representatives.
Well, that should be, so the voter roll cleanup should be done in conjunction with these machines. They should not be hooked up to the internet. And this chain of command, or whatever that term is they call, when they
chain of custody.
Chain of custody. Thank you. I'm sorry, I had a brain freeze. I'm old.
No, we're not.
The chain of custody was a big problem. You know, and these mail-in ballots and these paper ballots, all of it is a mess. We were able to know the results of an election on election night. And we had to wait how long? And they didn't even post the results until, months later? It's ridiculous.
It's something that needs to be cleaned up in Harrisburg. And HB1 on the federal level is not going to clean it up. It's going to make it worse across all 50 states or 51 states soon. And it will be a mess if our Congress allows HB1 to go through, because that is one of the things that they will be doing. I'm going to try to wrap up this call now. I want to thank my guest, Andy Warren, for being here.
Thank you, Andy.
And
My pleasure. Thank you all.
Everybody who's interacted on tonight's call, thank you very much. We had a very good number. And yes, Jimmy, I'll give you a moment.
How can I get Andy Warren's nomination petition?
Andy, do you want to give out your phone number so that people can?
I don't need the phone number. I need either. I need somebody to bring it to me.
I will.
Mail it to me.
I just need to know your address. I'll get it to you after we hang up. Call me 215-968.
Let me give you my email address.
Okay, go for it.
Jimmy Clendenin.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. You've contacted me before at gmail.com.
All right, Jimmy, I'll get it to you.
Jimmy Clendenin, all one word, at gmail.com.
I'll get it to you. I'll have it to you by Wednesday.
Chris, can I interrupt?
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Andy, can you finish up the phone number?
Yeah.
215-968-3532.
Thank you. Over.
Okay. Andy, repeat your phone number, please.
215-968-3532. There's an answering machine on it. If we don't get it right away, leave a message, and I absolutely will call you back.
Okay. So thank you very much, Andy, for being here, and thank you, everybody, for being involved in this call. I do want to say anybody who's a committee person, definitely stay in your committee seat. Stay with the Republican Party. We need to clean this up from the inside out, and that's the best way to do it is through the committee seats, through the supervisor seats in various townships, through whatever screening meetings you're able to go to. Because one of the things we want to do as committee people is we need to vote maybe to censure Pat Toomey, our senator who voted against the Constitution, and we know he only has 2 years left in his term, and he said he's going to retire. But he needs to be shown that if you're going to go against the Constitution, you're going against the Republican Party, and we need people to definitely vote against him in any way that will silence him.
Absolutely. So Chris, this is Lisa Von Deelen, and Andy Warren, this is Lisa Von Deelen. I am a committee woman. I will be at tomorrow evening's meeting, and I will be calling the phone number that you gave, because I do have additional questions, and I do want to touch base with you. Over.
Excellent. Excellent.
Can you
Thank
call
you very much,
in
Lisa.
Bensalem? Can you guys call for a censure on Toomey so we can get the ball rolling? It's Kathy Gettner. I'm up in Durham. We're on the last day of the screening process, and we're planning on calling for the censure of Senator Toomey. And we have two people to make the motion, and we'd like to hear how everybody's going to vote on that so we can get a feel for what all the committee people are thinking. But we need brave people at each committee meeting, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then my meeting's on the following Monday. So we're last. Over.
That's because you're so far north. Okay.
Actually, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It'll be Tuesday.
Hey, Kathy, this is Lisa. I'll be at that Bensalem meeting tomorrow, and I know that I've already been in some discussions with some other committee people. It seems like we are planning to put up that censure thing as well, and I know I will be one of the people jumping in on that bandwagon. Over.
Okay, so this is Kathy again. It's real important that you guys put a motion and a second on the floor for a censure for Pat Toomey, and it's important for any other committee people that are on the call that are at any of the other meetings that there's a motion to get it on the floor. If there's not a first and a second, it'll never move forward, and we do have power in the people, and we don't need permission from our chair or the executive table for this to happen because it is our party. So I'm really hoping you guys can push it to a vote, not just a discussion.
Could somebody just tell me I don't understand or I don't know what this censure would do? Is this going to block him from what?
It's Kathy Gettner. It's more of a political censure to let him know our frustration with him and that we don't believe in him anymore. And while it might not do anything, so to speak, it won't remove him from office, it won't stop him from speaking, it won't prevent him from voting, but it will let him know the voice of the people in Bucks County that he needs.
Okay, thank
Over.
you. Thank you. Over.
And that is not just a Bucks County thing. That is happening throughout Pennsylvania at various county level committees. So it would be great to have Bucks County to join in with those other counties throughout Pennsylvania to let our Republican senator know that he did the wrong thing. So with that, it's after 8 o'clock.
Well, this is, hang on 1 second. I have something to add. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's fine.
But just so everybody's aware, Lawrence Tabas, who is our chair of the state GOP, has already called for an emergency meeting. And we're waiting to hear the date of when he's going to call that meeting. And we are under the impression that the state GOP is talking about censoring Pat Toomey. Over.
And how much longer does he have in office?
Well, he only has about a year and a half left to his term, and he plans on running for governor.
Oh, geez.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, he's lost that opportunity because he needs to vote from, as they would say, Pennsatucky, the party in the middle, and he is not going to win those voters because those are the counties that have already censored him.
Yes.
So he's made a big
reclaim our
mistake.
Party.
Yes,
we need to reclaim our party.
And I need to reclaim the time. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on bucksPAC.com.
We were a rowdy bunch tonight.
We're getting fired up, and as soon as it starts to warm up, we're going to be hot. So we appreciate everybody being here on bucksPAC.com, our Monday night conference call. Please check out our website. A lot of good resources on there. And please, don't just give to it hurts, give to it helps. Donate to bucksPAC.com. It's easily found and secure on our website. So thank you very much for everybody joining us on our Monday night call. And with that, thank you. And I'll probably reach out to most of you during the week. Looking forward to talking to you. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.